Tonight, don't just watch the news, you actually become part of it. First, the deadline was 5 p.m. for Children's Hospital to accept or reject UMC's offer to save it from closure. So why has nothing changed? We'll take a look. Also, we confirm new details on the reported death of famous pageant director Rex Holt. He's still alive. Smiles from the defendant in a murder trial in Las Cruces. Today, our New Mexico mobile newsroom crew was there. And ABC-7 with complete coverage of the Pope in America, from the nation's capital to Philadelphia and back in the borderland. El Pasoans experiencing all of this firsthand, keeping us all in the loop. With social media, of course. We'll see them on the CW tonight. Nicole.
I'm tracking showers on Doppler radar. Just how much rain is in the forecast tonight, and we'll stick around for your weekend. That answers Storm Track weather.
It's all next on ABC-7 at 9. Get ready. You become part of the day's news right now.
Live, where news comes first. From the Mesilla Valley and Las Cruces to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC-7 at 9 on the El Paso Las Cruces.
We are now about 4 hours, I should say, past the deadline UMC gave El Paso Children's Hospital to accept its final offer for help. But it looks like the deadline didn't really carry any weight. That's because a new deadline was issued today, giving Children's until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning to accept UMC's terms or fend for itself. This story is developing now because, like we told you last night, we're back to the point where in just a few hours, county commissioners and UMC could learn what the deal's going to be and what Children's plans to do. Good morning, or good evening, everybody. Morning, I'm ahead of myself. Talking about tomorrow morning, I'm Bob Harp. Now, Nicole, you were tracking some activity. Well, I'm tracking all kinds of news going on tonight.
Yes, I'm mainly just tracking light showers on Doppler radar right now, but coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to take a closer look at Doppler radar and the latest future track computer model to track the changes in your forecast for tonight and your weekend. That's all coming up, Bob.
All right, thanks so much for that, Nicole. We do appreciate that. Let's go ahead and get to our top story right now. There is a new deadline for El Paso Children's Hospital to accept that final offer from UMC, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now, right now, we have ABC-7's Ashley Rodriguez live in our newsroom talking about a story that so many of us have been following ever since we learned that Children's reportedly owes $100 million to UMC. Now, she's live with our complete coverage, Ashley.
Bob, we don't know the terms of UMC's last offer to Children's because the negotiations are confidential, but Children's has been reviewing it since this afternoon and has to make a decision by tomorrow. The county needs to finalize the UMC's budget on Monday, so the pressure is on.
Good. Lance Ramsey. Andrew, hey, good to see you.
This is the closest we've been since all of this started.
The county says Children's is being more accessible this time around, that they're showing a definite change in the way they're negotiating. Yet Children's continues to counter UMC's offer.
We would love to give them the tools and the ability to find a partner that will keep them independent of UMC. We'd rather not have them under the UMC wing.
Stalled negotiations have hinged on one issue. What that issue is, we don't know. We do know that if Children's were to accept this offer from UMC, it would pause its lawsuit against UMC and look for a financial partner. In case Children's couldn't find one, UMC would work with Children's on a backup plan.
It would be very sad for me to see them walk away from this because I do think it gives them a great shot.
If Children's rejects this last deal, then UMC will fight in court to submit its own plan to save Children's without their input. And County Judge Veronica Escobar says in court, the odds are against Children's.
The facts are the facts. Conspiracy theories in a federal courtroom mean nothing. It comes down to the facts. What is true and what is not true is the only thing that matters.
And Bob, we've reported UMC may no longer want to take over Children's because Children's may owe millions to the federal government. But we spoke with County Judge Veronica Escobar today, and she says that they've gotten closer to figuring out how much Children's may owe. And it looks like it may be a manageable amount, meaning UMC could probably still take over Children's. Children's said today it is optimistic it can resolve this with UMC. Bob?
All right, we'll just have to wait and see. We thought we'd know more today, but Ashley, keeping us up to date, thanks so much for that. And by the way, the last deadline, 10 a.m. Friday morning. Ashley, we will definitely have complete coverage tomorrow on ABC-7. Let's get to that new information now tonight on Rex Holt. Out of the Guy Rex beauty pageant duo, our news partners over at El Paso Inc. reported last night Holt had died. ABC-7 confirmed today, technically he's alive. Richard Guy, Holt's lifelong partner, who you see on the left, Rex on the right, updated us on Rex's condition today. Now, Guy is saying doctors told him yesterday that Rex Holt was dead. Turns out the 74-year-old is still on life support, and doctors don't believe he has any brain activity. Guy Rex was the creative force behind 29 Miss El Paso pageants and 16 Miss Texas pageants. They even groomed 6 women who went on to become Miss USA winners. We will, of course, keep you updated on Rex Holt's condition. From our New Mexico mobile newsroom tonight, a man accused of crashing a party and killing a guest was just found not guilty of murder today. 29-year-old Efren Ray smiled when this verdict was read. Investigators say in July of 2013, Ray went to a birthday party and he got into a fight with a man. That is when a 17-year-old tried to break up the fight and was shot in the head. Ray's defense attorney says his client never meant for that teenager to be hurt.
Still an accident. I think he just meant to hit the young man with a gun and it discharged, and I think the jury believed that that was accidental, and also believed that he had a right to defend he and his family.
So we had witnesses who were afraid to testify and testified differently from what they may have early on, right after the murder occurred.
Well, a weapon, by the way, was never found, and a charge of tampering with evidence was dismissed. Well, El Paso police still won't update us on the man found with serious stab wounds overnight on the 3000 block of Nations. That's pretty close to KVIA. Our round-the-clock news crew was on the scene to bring you this video, and it shows investigators were looking for evidence throughout the night. Now, they believe this is connected to a fight that happened earlier last night at Jaguar's nightclub. Police are not releasing the victim's name, only saying he is still in serious condition. But El Paso police are talking about another case, saying human remains found last month in the Franklin Mountains were probably there for at least a year. A group of hikers spotted the human bones in the desert just north of Trans Mountain and Wrestler. Well, investigators want your help now to identify the person. They released these photos, and it shows some items that were found with the bones. It's a brand watch with a blue face and gold hands and digits, and a pair of Wrestler Advantage size 8.5 work boots. Police say the person also had a metal rod implanted in one of their femurs. It is still unclear whether it's even a female or a male at this point, and the exact cause of death is still unknown, according to police. If you happen to know anything about this, you are asked to call the El Paso Police Department. Let's give you a live look at traffic tonight. It is about 9:08, and things look pretty good. Just expect some closures because TxDOT is still doing a lot of maintenance. Nichole, you and I have not been able to get home our normal way for quite a while. We have to take Mesa because all that eastbound traffic is being affected by the closures.
Yeah, it takes a little longer to get home, but oh well.
Got to do it.
Let's talk about our weather out there right now, though. I think on our Doppler radar system right now, we're just tracking up a level of moisture, but we still have that moisture in place, so I'm going to keep slight rain chances in the forecast for tonight. Now, earlier today, we did pick up some showers on the east side of town. If we can switch on over to Weather C. And if you were driving, I should say, around Loop 375 and Sergeant Major Boulevard, you may have ran into some light showers. We did pick up about 0.2 inches out there. But currently, again, moisture still in place, so I'm keeping rain chances in the forecast, but nothing major really taking place. We are tracking some storms across portions of Texas around Guadalupe Pass. But again, fairly quiet here in El Paso and Las Cruces as well. But coming up in your full forecast, we're going to take a look at the latest future track computer model. I'll let you know if we're tracking any rain chances in the forecast this weekend. Bob, the UTEP games this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you need your rain gear. I'll have that answer coming up.
It's the home opener. Let's hope that Mets, the starting quarterback, can carry the Miners to a victory. All right, we're talking about Pope Francis, of course. Tonight, he's probably getting a good night's rest. He speaks before the United Nations in New York tomorrow morning. It'll come just one day after making history in the nation's capital. ABC-7's complete coverage begins now.
Mr. Speaker, the Pope of the Holy See.
Pope Francis walked down the House Chambers center aisle before addressing the joint meeting of Congress. The first pope to ever do this. He talked about hot-button political issues like climate change, the death penalty, family, marriage, and having compassion and offering help to refugees.
The yardstick we use for others will be the yardstick which time used for us.
God bless America.
Well, the Pope then got a standing ovation, and House Speaker John Boehner even shed a few tears today. If you happen to miss any of Pope Francis's speech before Congress today, just head on over to KVIA.com right now. You can watch the entire speech at your fingertips whenever you have time. El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke and his mother, they were there to hear the Pope's congressional speech today, and we spoke with the congressman on the phone, and he told us the speech may be more beneficial than many of us even realize.
Perhaps it is just that encouragement that we need to take the next steps to get some of these things done. And the timing could not be more perfect. We're less than a week away from a potential government shutdown, from an inability of Democrats and Republicans to be able to compromise. And perhaps it takes somebody coming in from the outside to remind us that that's just what we need to do if we're going to continue to keep this country great and potentially make it even greater.
Coming up tonight on ABC-7 at 10, Congressman O'Rourke shares how the speech affected him personally. And thanks to social media, we are all experiencing the Pope's visit without even having to leave the borderland. And we're also getting personal pics about the Pope and his visit from folks like 19-year-old Cassandra Pena from El Paso. She graduated from Loreto, and she now goes to American University. She was at the Mass yesterday and took some cool pics. This is a picture that she took with her mom, her aunt, and Congressman Will Hurd, saying that he's the one who got us the tickets to the event and held a small reception after the speech at his office. And then we even spoke with Cassandra today on the phone as well.
There were so many people who weren't Catholic, weren't even Christian, but they have so much faith in this man who most of the world believes has a close connection to God.
Well, I posted Cassandra's pictures on the KVIA.com Facebook page today, and Delma tells us, awesome. Yes, very blessed. Thank you for sharing. And for Margie, thanks for sharing. Well, ladies, it is my pleasure, and I think this thanks all go to Cassandra. And also on social media, that is how the Catholic Diocese is keeping us updated. El Paso Bishop Mark Seitz took this picture of the Pope driving on the streets of D.C. And he said, or the diocese said, how's this for close? And also a picture that someone took of the bishop himself. The diocese tweeted other pictures like this one showing some El Paso women with popes at the World Meeting of Families in Philadelphia, and others who were checking the itinerary at St. Joseph's Parish in Philly. So, great pictures. More to come in just a bit. Congressman Steve Pierce, by the way, from New Mexico, posted video on his Facebook page from Washington, D.C. It shows Pierce and Las Cruces Bishop Oscar Cantu walking to the Pope's speech this morning. Congressman Pierce also wrote, security for the day was extremely tight. Police were not allowing anyone to walk outside to the speech. And here is a snapshot of Bishop Cantu actually greeting the Pope, and it's what he tweeted. We have that coming up right here on ABC-7 at 9. And we also have a picture that our Jamie Warren with the New Mexico Mobile Newsroom sent us on Twitter when she was there in Las Cruces as the Pope made his address. We'll talk about that and, of course, the other photos that we have online, and we're sharing them with you tonight. From social media into your living room. Nicole, how's that weather looking?
Well, the weekend is almost here. I'll let you know if we're expecting any rain in the forecast with our latest Future Track computer model coming up in Storm Track weather.
This is ABC 7 at 9. Stay with us. We'll be right back.